Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do dabble on other online platforms and I sell locally. Today is Monday, October 7th, and I will be shipping out my sales from over the weekend. These sales are directly following the Poshmark fee structure change. So for those of you who aren't aware, Poshmark just changed their fee structure to where they are charging buyers a $1, $2, or $3 flat fee plus a 5.99% buyer's protection fee, and then the seller gets charged that same fee. The good news is that things are still selling. I had, I think, a total of 7 sales for 8 items over the weekend. Some of them are for a little bit lower amounts than I had originally hoped for, but because my seller fee is a little bit less now, I can accept a little bit less offers. Okay, so let's get started. The first item that sold is this really beautiful sterling silver ring, and this is by Michael Valitutti, and his items are sold on QVC or HSN, one of the home shopping networks. Just a really beautiful piece. This is a genuine stone. I don't recall what type of stone it is, but this ended up selling for $100, which I think is pretty great. I did have this listed for, I think, $169, and the buyer offered me that $100. I decided to go ahead and accept that because I had this listed for in the neighborhood of 6 months and it had not sold in that amount of time. I got this at that estate sale where I spent $890 and the jewelry there was just $3 a piece, so I paid $3 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $87.07. So for the remainder of the video, I will just say what my profit is. You can assume that I am deducting my cost of goods, any website fees, and any shipping discounts. And I'm not going to go through on each item, but for a couple of them, I will kind of tell you the difference of what I would have made in the old fee structure versus the new fee structure. So if the fees were still 20%, my profit on this would have been $77.07. With the new fee structure, my profit was $87.07. So I made $10 additional profit on this because of that new fee structure. So that is a good thing. What I am seeing is that the higher the sale amount, the better your profit is compared to the old fee structure. So it does appear that Poshmark is really trying to encourage sellers to sell higher dollar items, which kind of makes sense. Okay, the next sale was a bundle, and it is this sterling silver kind of round link little bracelet. This could be used as a charm bracelet or just worn on its own. The bundle sold for $35. I think the buyer got about a 25 or 30% discount on their bundle, and she put the items in the bundle and I sent her an offer. Initially she declined, but then she said she was still shopping and that's why she had declined. But she just decided on these 2 items and came back and offered me that. The next item is kind of an interesting little piece. It is this little, it's a necklace with a little piece of, I think, sea glass. And, you know, it's wrapped to look kind of, you know, nautical. I just picked this up. I thought it was kind of an interesting piece. So like I said, the bundle sold for $35. I paid about $4 total for both items. So that made my profit $26.42. So nice little bundle sale there. I am happy to move both of those pieces out. The sterling silver bracelet I'd had for a really long time, And then this piece, not a terribly long time, maybe 3 or 4 months. So it was a nice little sale. I'm not sure if it was to one of you guys, but if it is, thank you so much, Stephanie, for shopping my closet. The next item is kind of interesting. I actually got this at the same sale that I got the little nautical necklace at, and this is a Swatch Watch, and it is a limited edition. I can't remember what the event was, but when I bought it, I didn't realize it was damaged. It did have a crack to the band, and then the little clip on the end was missing. So I wouldn't have picked this up had I noticed that damage, but it still ended up selling for $29. This watch, I think I saw some sold prices for like $69 to $89 on eBay in good condition. So seeing as, you know, the buyer is going to have to replace the band and it does need a new battery, I thought that $29 was just fine. I paid $3 for this, so that made my profit $21.76. So had it been the old fee structure, my profit would have been about $20.76. So I made, let's see, is this really the best way to do that? I made about $1 more on this than I would have in the old fee structure. Okay, the next item that I sold is this JCrew sweater, and it is a mix of cashmere and wool. This was actually mine. I bought it secondhand for myself because I thought it was a cute piece, and I did wear it a few times, but it didn't fit me quite right. I think it was a size, yeah, it was a size small, and I could get away with it, but really I should have taken a medium in it. So I decided to sell it. It sold for $23. I think that I paid about $6 for this. I'm not positive, but that's what I put my cost of goods at. So that made my profit $13.22. I was motivated to accept offers this weekend. This also could have been one of you guys who bought this, because I advertised, the video where I advertised 40% off all clothing just came out. And I think this person sent me a 40% off offer. So Liz, if you are a subscriber, I really appreciate your support. Okay, so actually a couple of things that I originally bought for myself sold. This is a pair of Levi's jeans, and they were a baggy, the 94 baggy, and they were distressed. And because I have not bought any new denim, I have all skinny jeans, or mostly skinny jeans. I thought that I would try out some of these new trendy styles by buying them secondhand, so I didn't buy, you know, a new piece. But I just didn't care for the way these fit for my body shape, or maybe just for what I'm used to. So I listed them. They ended up selling for $23. I think I paid about $6 for these also, because my Goodwill prices the jeans usually at $4.99 and $5.99. So again, that made my profit $13.13. I wonder why that's different than the other one. Let's see, 23. Oh, so I think I did talk about this last week, but this 5.99 fee is charged on the purchase price, the shipping amount, and the sales tax. So if your buyer is in a different state, which these buyers were probably in different states, that can affect your profit, because they're charging the fee on the sales tax as well. I don't like that. I'll be perfectly honest. I think that I don't know why they're charging us a fee on the sales tax and the shipping. That doesn't make much sense to me, but eBay has been doing that for years. And yeah, I don't like it. I don't think it's transparent, but it may just be the way that our, this business is going in the future. The next sale is this pair of Picolinos, kind of loafers. And as you can see, they had this flaw to the toe. I did not see that when I bought these. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought them. But as I say over and over again, if I find a flaw on an item after I buy it, I will still list it, and inevitably the item sells and I still make a profit. So these sold for $23. I paid $9, $8.80 for these. Definitely would not have paid that amount for them, had I seen that flaw. But that still gave me a profit of $10.27. I still doubled my money. You can't complain about that. Let's see, I think I had the wrong size box for that. Okay, the next sale, this is a pretty good sale. So this is a pair of men's wingtip shoes. And this brand is Lethado. I'll show it here and you guys can pronounce it how you wish. But these just look like a high-end pair of men's shoes. So I looked up the brand, and sure enough, I think the retail was somewhere in the $200 to $250 range. And I had them listed, I think, for $129. I had sent out offers, and then this buyer counter-offered me with $75. So I decided to go ahead and accept that. I think these had been listed a good, 6 months or so. And because I only paid about $7 for these, I decided that I was happy with the $75. So that made my profit $59.88. So had this been the old fee structure, my earnings would have been $60. So my profit would have been $53. So I earned $6.88 more. The reason I'm telling you this is so that you can try and focus on the positive side of this fee change. Because as I said, I highly doubt that they are going to change it back. Who knows? Maybe if enough people complain and get upset, they may change it back. But I don't personally have any control over that. So I am just going to try and focus on going forward, running my business successfully with this type of fee structure. So they also announced, I can't remember if I talked about this in last week's video, but they also announced that they're offering $5.95 shipping discounts for Posh ambassadors. So Poshmark will pick up that $2 difference and they'll offer your buyers $5.95 shipping. So they're calling this Posh Pass. So apparently at the beginning of 2025, this will be a option that is a paid service for sellers. So you can pay a monthly amount, I'm not sure what it is, or yearly, they haven't released the details, to offer your buyers $5.95 shipping as opposed to $7.97 or whatever it is. I don't know if I'll participate in that, if it'll be worth it for me or not. Time will tell. Poshmark is trying to make more money. That's plain and simple what it is. we have to realize that although I would love it if Poshmark thought of me as a business owner first when they are looking at making changes to the platform, the truth is that their first priority is their business, their shareholders, owners, whatever it is. I think they're a private company, but any business's primary concern is their bottom line, and it's always going to be like that. I've always felt like Poshmark is a community, and I love, chatting with you guys, and I love the vibe of Poshmark, but that doesn't change that it is a for-profit business, and that is going to be their number one priority. And I feel like I'm being a little, I don't know, insensitive about this. I'm not sure what the right word is, but it's just the fact of the matter. And if we want to sell on a platform that controls our fees, we just have to accept what they roll out, or we have to sell someplace else. That is the sad truth of the matter. Okay, I'm going to try not to talk about too much more about this going forward unless there's new news or unless you guys have questions that you want me to address. I did also have a couple sales on Chairish, so I'm going to finish packaging these up and come right back and share my Chairish sales as well. Okay, it's a little bit later, and now I have my Chairish sales to share with you. So the first item that sold is this vintage liquor decanter, and I've been selling more of these lately. If you guys have noticed, I did go through and reduce my prices on all of the decanters I had listed, and I think I just had them listed too high. So this ended up selling for $59 plus a $10 packaging fee, which is in addition to the shipping fee, and the buyer pays both. So the total was $69. I paid $10 for this. So that made my profit $46.02. I'm happy with that. I am definitely being more negotiable on my decanters because I'm ready to move them out. And once I sell most of them, then I can start picking them up again, but also realize that I'm not going to get maybe as high a prices as I had originally hoped. So this I had reduced to $89, and the buyer offered me $59 plus that $10 packaging fee. So I just decided to accept it, even though it was less than what I had originally hoped to get for this. So I'm going to move that out of the way. The next item that sold is another one of these vintage silk pillows. Those of you who have been watching me for a while, you know that I have been pleasantly surprised by some of these vintage pillow sales that have been happening for me. So this ended up selling for a total of $80 for a pillow. Be sure to keep your eyes out for vintage pillows, modern pillows. I'm sure if you watch some of the other resellers like Homeschooling Picker and the Nurse Flipper, they both also talk about pillows. I paid $3 for this at an estate sale. That's another really great thing about pillows, is that when you're out at yard sales and estate sales, typically people aren't going to mark up pillows. So it's an opportunity for, us to make some money. So that made my profit $60.50 on a pillow. I'm super thrilled with that. I am going to package all of this up off camera, just because it'll take a little bit more time to properly package it. If you are interested in how I package breakables, I always have a how-to video in the description box below that talks about how I package my breakables. I also have the Chairish Seller's Guide linked in the description box below, and it tells you everything you could want to know about selling on Chairish, including the fees and shipping and all the details. Okay, the next item is a pretty exciting sale. It is this vintage aluminum platter. Is it aluminum? Yeah. And it has a very mid-century atomic vibe, has these cool wooden handles. Just a really cool piece. This is by Miro Medallion, made in USA. Not sure if you guys are going to be able to see that or not, but I will try and show the mark. Okay, before I tell you how much this sold for, it took forever, years to sell. I had this in my shop for sale, and then I finally listed it probably 6 or 8 months ago on Chairish, and it ended up selling for $129 plus a $10 packaging fee, so a total of $139. I am thrilled with that. I paid $6 for this, so that made my profit $104.62. Very exciting. Was it worth waiting years and years for a $100 profit? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You guys be the judge. Overall, it turned out to be a pretty great weekend for me. I hope your weekend sales were pretty good too. And don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell this week. As always, if you have been watching and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would subscribe. I put out new videos at least once a week. Also, if you give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, both those things really help me out, and I'll see you in a bit. Hey again, it's Wednesday and I've got 3 more sales to ship out, which I'm happy about. There's a couple pretty decent sales, including this necklace. So this is a sterling silver Judith Ripka chain necklace. This is a solid, very heavy, very nice piece. This is one of the items that she sells through QVC or HSN, one of the two. Judith Ripka also has a high-end real gold line that she sells through jewelry stores, and it is super, super expensive. Some of the pieces from Home Shopping Network or QVC are also quite expensive. Like, I believe that this necklace probably retailed somewhere around $300, maybe a little bit more. And I sold it for $145. Let's see. I think that's good. So I'm pretty excited about that. I did have it priced quite a bit higher than that. I think $229. But with the recent changes on Poshmark, I have been motivated to accept offers on items that I have had for, you know, a certain amount of time and that I don't necessarily have high buy-in price on. So when I got this offer for $145, I just decided to go ahead and take it. I had only paid $3 for this. This came from the estate sale where I spent $890. And someone asked if I would do a profit update on that, and I will try and remember to do that next week or the week after. I just kind of have quite a bit going on in the coming weeks, and it takes some time to go through and tally up the things. So with the new fee structure, that made my profit $129.21. So about $14 or $15 more profit than what I would have made in the old fee structure, I believe. Oh, Becky Park, who has a YouTube channel, she did a very helpful video on how the new fees work. So if you're confused at all about that, about how to calculate them or anything like that, her video is very helpful. I'll try and remember to link it in the description box below, because I don't think that I will be doing a video on how to calculate the fees, and she really broke it down really, really well. So the next item that sold is this wide leather belt, another belt sale. I hope that my belts start to pick up again. I am eager to move through some of my inventory on these. This sold for $27. I believe that this was an offer that someone made me. I paid just $1 for this at a yard sale. So that made my profit $21.93. I'm happy about that. I think that's a good price to sell this for. It was in quite nice condition. And for these extra wide belts like this, I use the Cube box number 4. And so those fit pretty nicely in there. They're a little bit too large for the other boxes that I typically use, but they work well for those. Oh, let's see. I am just not keeping track of my labels very well today. Okay, the next item that sold is this fun Patricia Nash Fringe Handbag, and it does have a long crossbody strap. This also came from that estate sale where I spent $890, and it ended up selling for $65. This buyer, I had this listed for $129. So this buyer offered me half of my asking price, but this has been listed almost 6 months, and I have sent out numerous offers on this piece up to 30% off and have had no bites. So I decided to go ahead and accept that offer for $65. All of the handbags at that sale were priced at $15 a piece. So that made my profit $42.35. I think that's great. Again, this has been listed, you know, somewhere around 6 months. So I didn't feel the need to really hang on to it any longer. Boy, this was kind of a extra special pack job on this. Okay, so that is it for my sales for today. All right, thanks so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. This video will continue with what else I sell. Hey again, it's Friday and I've got 4 more things to ship out. I am pleasantly surprised that my sales are still coming in on Poshmark. I have continued to get quite a few really lowball offers. And I think I clipped it out of last week's video, but I did last week when I was really upset about the Poshmark fee change. I had a buyer who kept over and over again offering me really low offers on 2 different pieces of jewelry, like 75% off or something like that. And she just kept going. And so I blocked her. And I rarely ever block people, even for lowball offers, only if they are saying, you know, really nasty things in the comments or harassing me or something, will I block them. But this buyer, I was just like, I don't want to deal with you anymore. I've already counter offered, you know, I think I counter offered 30% off or something like that. And she still kept coming back with like 75% off. So I just blocked her, but I've gotten more 75% off offers. So that may just be part of what's going on right now. I do suspect that that will kind of calm down once people get used to the new fee structure. And I think some people might be trying to take advantage of sellers feeling upset or unsure about the new fee structure. And so they're trying to get really great deals, which I did accept some like 50% off offers on a couple of items. So I am, you know, because my profit is potentially higher due to the reduced fees, I am able to accept some lower offers, but not like 75% off. Anyways, just thought I'd share with you guys that I'm getting some lowball offers too. Okay, the first item that sold is just this vintage black leather woven belt. Seems like maybe my belt sales are picking back up a little bit, which makes me happy. Still not quite as much as they used to be. This sold for $22. You know, even though these black woven or these woven leather belts in brown or black seem kind of common, I do sell them quite regularly, and I see them quite regularly at estate sales and yard sales for like 50 cents or $1. So I'd still pick these up. Did I already say this sold for $22? I paid about $1 for it. So that made my profit $17.33. I think that's a great profit on a $1 investment. And, you know, very easy to list, ship, and store. The next item is this cute little band ring. Let's see if you guys can see that. It's sterling silver, it has marcasite and tiger's eye set in there. This is one of the items that I accepted a little bit lower offer on. I think I had it listed for $39 and they offered me $20, and I just went ahead and accepted that. I didn't think this was a really super special piece. And I really want to keep the momentum and sales going in my Poshmark closet because I firmly believe that the more you sell, the more you sell. So I think that when you are accepting offers and making sales, it makes the algorithm happy, which in turn can make your listings show up better in search results and maybe in the news feed. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it just seems like if you can keep the sales momentum going, it is a good thing. Again, I'm not accepting every offer. Like I had a $300 coat, $329, which may be kind of high for, it's a shearling coat, and the buyer offered me like $60. I'm not going to take that. That's just ridiculous. But maybe she thought she could get a good deal and she was willing to give it a try. Initially, I did counter offer her with my best price, and then she came back with the same offer, so I just ignored her. Okay, so this sold for $20. I paid $5 for it, so that made my profit $11.34. Okay. Oh, so here, this is the item that was a little bit more expensive, and it is a vintage Burberry handbag. No logos except for this plaid. This, what do they call this? Novacek plaid, which is iconic for Burberry. But this is a vintage piece, and the label actually says Burberry's with an S on the end. And I don't know what the time frame is for that, but the old company used to be Burberry's instead of just Burberry or Burberry. Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. So a lot of times, more often you'll find the old trench coats with the Burberry's label. There is, of course, still vintage knockoffs, but don't let that automatically discourage you if you see that S on the end. This ended up selling for $156, which doesn't seem like a whole lot for a designer bag, but this has been listed, I believe, over a year, and when I got that offer, I was just like, yes, go ahead. This is also a consignment piece. When I do consignment, it is a 50-50 split after website fee. I'm very clear with my consigners that that is how it works. I just feel like with the amount of time and work that goes into listing, shipping, the knowledge that I have, that, you know, my service is worth a full 50% of the sales price. And of course, you are more than welcome to, let's see, how do I want to do this? This is leather, so I don't think, yeah, it's not going to crack or anything. So I think I will do that. You are more than welcome to, you know, do your fee structure however you like if you decide to do consignment. I've mentioned this before, but I don't do consignment on a regular basis, mainly just because I have so much of my own stuff to list. So if I'm listing things for other people, I'm not listing my own stuff. And so when I do decide to do it is if it's for a friend or a former customer. This was, or she's still a customer, but I met her through my shop and she had bought some different things from my shop. So when she brought in some items and they were designer bags, I said, okay, I'll go ahead and do consignment. That's the other reason, you know, if it's a good, really good item, then of course I'm going to take it. Okay, so after the fees, that made my cost of goods $71.19, which is what she will make, and my profit $71.19. But I'm excited to see that go. I talked to her a little while ago and she was ready to, you know, just move things through and not really worry about getting a super high price. So the next item that sold is this cute little blazer, and it is by Doncaster Collection, actually. So this probably had quite a high retail. I don't normally pick up this brand though. it just, even though it has a high retail, it does not have a very good resale. The only reason I got this was because it was $1, number one. I liked the tweed look and the color. It looked very Chanel-esque to me. So that's why I decided to just give it a go anyways. This took probably over a year to sell, so probably not the greatest buy, and it sold for $25. I am going to try and avoid picking up particularly clothing items that I know are only going to sell, you know, under $25 and that may take a long time to sell. I just don't want to be, I don't want to have the clutter, because clothing just takes up too much space, in my opinion, to be hanging on to stuff for a long time. Now, jewelry, I'm still going to pick up stuff, even if I think it's going to be, you know, a $20 profit, just because it doesn't take up very much space. So this I got on the last day of an estate sale, and they had marked all the clothing down to $1. So that made my profit $20.15. So I made a whopping extra 15 cents. McThrift's, I can't say it. McThrift's video just came out, her ship with me, most recent ship with me video. So it would have been a week before this video comes out. And she talks about her perspective on the new fee structure. And I think it's a good one. You know, she's with like a $30 sale, you're going to see an extra $2 or $3 in profit. And her perspective was that she could buy an additional item with that $2 or $3 to make another, you know, $20 on. So that's a really good way to look at it. Even though it's not a huge amount, you could potentially buy more items or buy less items, because each of your items has more profit. So you don't have to buy and sell as many items, which is how I prefer to do it. I would rather have higher dollar sales and less sales, so it's less work for me, although I love buying stuff. So it's turned out to be a pretty good week. Like I said, it's only Friday, so hopefully I have a couple more sales and I can share those with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Hey again, it's Saturday, and I do have a few more things to ship out, which I'm happy about. So the first item sold on Chairish, and it's just this somewhat vintage little metal tray with martini glasses on it. I just thought this was kind of a fun piece, and it was really affordable. It does have this mark on the back. I'm not sure if it was someone's, so if they took it to a party, they got it back. But this ended up selling for $48 plus a $5 packaging fee for a total of $53. Something interesting about this is that on Chairish, they also have the alert to likers if someone makes an offer on an item. So I had this listed at $59 or $69, I can't remember, and somebody offered me $40. And I was kind of like, I'm not sure if I want to sell it for $40, so I just kind of waited a couple of hours, and someone else got the notification and they offered $45. So I waited a little bit longer, and the original person who made the offer came in and offered $48. So I accepted that. So I think that is a great feature. And in fact, a while back, whenever Poshmark started doing the alert for the offers to likers, they had asked for feedback for features that we would like. And I made that suggestion through that feedback, whether it was, you know, directly because of me or if they'd been considering it. I thought I think that's a great feature, because it can help the buyers or the sellers get a higher price for their item. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting. I paid $3 for this at the Goodwill. So that made my profit $39.44. I think that's fine. You know, I didn't think that that was going to be, you know, a huge profit item, but I just thought it was cool. And there was a pair of them. I listed them separately. So I just thought it would be an easy listing too. So the next item that sold is this cute little bee brooch with rhinestones. I just thought this was really sweet. And you know, I've been talking a lot about brooches lately and how they don't really typically sell that well for me, but they've been selling pretty well. And this time of year is typically when I do see a boost in brooch sales. More specifically around Christmas, a lot of times people give them as gifts. So this actually sold to one of you guys. So thank you so much, Donna, for shopping my closet. And this sold for $10. I paid $2 for this, so that made my profit $6.01. The next item that sold is this really cute little super dainty little floral ring. This is tiny. It barely even fits my pinky. I do have kind of big hands though. This was a piece from the $890 estate sale haul. However, this wasn't sterling silver. It was just silver tone, and I didn't realize that, but I decided to list it anyways. It sold for $9, not really a home run, and I paid $3 for it, so that made my profit $4.06. Not really the type, the amount of sale that I want to have, but I do think it's important to have all different prices of items available for sale, especially for me, so that if you guys want to support me in some way through purchasing from me, but you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money, it's nice if I have some lower priced items that you can get a little fun something and also support my business. So the next item is a very cool piece. This is a vintage tooled leather bag. It is just in really beautiful condition. I'm not exactly sure of the age of this, but I suspect it's probably from somewhere around the 1970s, just based on the style and the construction. Could even be, actually, with that zipper, could even be 1960s. But I just thought this was gorgeous. I almost didn't pick it up because it was, I think I might try and figure out how I'm going to package this up off camera, because it was priced at $15 at an estate sale. And that was just a little bit more than I thought I wanted to pay, because a lot of times I have trouble selling tooled leather bags for very high dollar amounts, but this one sold for $100. And just because it's set in such beautiful condition and so detailed and intricate, that's why I decided to pay up for it, and I'm glad I did. So that made my profit $75.26. Had it been the old fee structure, I would have profited about $10 less. So that's great, really great. I'll go through my sales for the week. Oh, also, I kind of had an epiphany last night about the Poshmark fees. And this isn't for every single item, but for your lower priced items to your mid-priced items. I was shopping on Poshmark for an item, and the seller on Poshmark was asking $32 for it. Plus they were a Poshmark ambassador, so the shipping was $5.95. And I was thinking, oh, I don't want to pay the fee on top of that. I'll look on eBay and see if they have it listed on eBay too. And I did, and they did have it listed on eBay. But the shipping charge was like $12.75 on eBay for the same item. What I realized is that people are used to paying more for shipping on other sites, and because the Poshmark shipping is more affordable in most or in all cases, that can kind of offset those fees in a buyer's mind. If they would prefer to shop on Poshmark for, I don't know, to support, someone, or I don't know why they would prefer. I like shopping on Poshmark better than on eBay. I like the way that the results come and the way I can scroll through. It's just, you can see the pictures better. I'm not really sure why I prefer it. Maybe it's because I'm on it all the time. But anyways, I was just thinking, okay, so it's really not necessarily cheaper to buy it on eBay versus buying it on Poshmark, even with the fee, because of the shipping being more expensive on those, on eBay. And that's going to be something that is hard to beat. And it's just going to keep getting more and more expensive for shipping on eBay as the postal rates increase. So maybe it's not as bad as we thought. Now if you're selling a $500 item and the buyer is going to have to pay an additional substantial fee, that might be kind of different. But I am seeing other sellers who sell high dollar items saying they're still selling things even with the additional fee. So maybe you guys didn't get upset about it, but I was all upside down and thought it was going to be the end of the world. Sometimes I do that though. And maybe it's just not as bad as we initially thought it was. Okay, so for my total sales for the week, they were $1,228. I think that's a pretty great week. I did have a couple higher dollar sales through Chairish, but not anything substantial. So I wouldn't say that my Poshmark sales are necessarily down after the fee increase or the buyer's fee. My total cost of goods was $177.19, and my total profit was $881.27. I sold a total of 21 items, which is more. Last week I only sold 15 items. I definitely had more number of sales on Poshmark this week, not dollar value necessarily. My average price per sale was $58.48. Average sales price. I think that's awesome. My average cost of goods was $8.44, and my average profit was $41.97. I think those are all great numbers. I'm very happy with those. So, we shall see. We'll just have to keep listing and keep working and see if things keep going the same. I still don't like the idea of charging a buyer a fee, even if it all works out in the end. I don't know, that just turns me off for some reason. Maybe it's the way of the future. We'll just have to see. But thank you so very much for watching. I'd love to hear how your guys' sales were this previous week in the comments down below. So keep in mind, these are my sales from October 7th through, I think today's the 12th of October. But let me know if your sales have been okay. Keep sharing, sending offers, listing new items. What else? Being active in, on Poshmark, share others people's items from the news feed. Don't spend a whole bunch of time doing that, maybe 5-10 minutes a day. Follow other people who you aren't following. Again, only maybe 5-10 minutes a day, but positively interact with the app, and that will always help boost your sales. All right, thanks again. I'll see you guys all again next week.